There was a time when first-person shooter video games were mainly based in World War II. After Call of Duty 3, developer Treyarch decided to go back into World War II using the engine developed for the groundbreaking Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It's hard for me to find words to describe how significant the release of Call of Duty 4 was to the gaming industry. With its precise controls and refined gameplay, it can be argued that it's still mimicked today in many aspects. It simultaneously disrupted the shooter genre and brought many players in. So developing a World War II based game in the Call of Duty 4 engine just sounds like a great idea. But some people thought at the time that returning to World War II was a step back. I thought it was a great idea to revisit, and in my opinion, this is the best World War II shooter ever released. The game was released on November 11th, 2008. It is the 5th main installment in the Call of Duty series, and it's the 4th entry in the series to be set in World War II. It was released on the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and the PC, with a different version releasing on the Nintendo DS. A few months ago, I bought the game on a Steam sale, and I finally played it the way it was meant to be played. Max settings with precise control. Because unfortunately, I bought the Wii version when it launched. Despite the significant downgrade the Wii version had in quality and frequent load times, I still enjoyed the crap out of this game when it came out, and I would go on to replay it over and over again on all the difficulty settings. You couldn't change the pointer controls like in later Wii games, so you couldn't precisely map and adjust every little bounding box and turn speed. I just pretended it was part of the challenge to overcome the jank. I also just learned, like today, that the game was also released on the PlayStation 2. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, the Wii version did not come with the zombies mode that eventually became famous in later Call of Duty games. But I did play that mode many times on a friend's Xbox, and we had a great time replaying that over and over again. So a funny story I have about this game, because it seems like you guys like the funny stories that I had, is that I went into Best Buy the day it released, and I don't know what was going on, but the employees didn't have it out on the shelf. It's ironic because Call of Duty games would go on to be the biggest releases for retailers going forward after this game. So it was funny that it seemed like they didn't care about the release of this game. With midnight launches and events and pre-order bonuses, the Call of Duty series just exploded after this game. Even though I played the worst version of the game, I could still appreciate the excellent audio the game had. You had the bonsai chargers, you had dismemberment, realistic burns. The game was very gory, and the game was not afraid to remind you that this was a very horrific time in human history. People did actually murder themselves, and they did not respawn. So the game felt like a horror game at many points, because it really made you appreciate the things that soldiers went through in this time. When the game starts up, you're greeted with a fearful orchestra soundtrack reminding you that you're about to witness one of the most horrific things in human history, but it's a video game, so it's fun. The game had an agonizing sense of dread and used a lot of dark tones to portray the setting. Some of the standout campaign levels include Eviction, which was set in a subway system. The environment was dark and eerie, with flickering lights that will go out as the ground shakes, and this created a sense of tension and uncertainty. As visibility is reduced and everything goes quiet, you're encouraged to move slowly through so that you can be ready for what may appear in the darkness. The level is filled with intense combat situations, requiring the player to navigate through the subway while trying to master very slow firing rifles, unless you found the double barrel shotgun earlier on in the level. The atmosphere is further heightened by the realistic sound effects and detailed grim visuals. It's a challenging level that tests the player's combat skills and their ability to adapt. But perhaps the most famous level is Vendetta. This is where you first meet Sergeant Reznov. The mission begins with the player, Private Dmitry Petrenko, regaining consciousness in a fountain filled with dead bodies. You and Reznov are hiding from the soldiers, hoping that you can disguise as one of the dead in order to keep alive. This mission is set during the Battle of Stalingrad, and is known for its intense sniper battles and stealth gameplay. There was an achievement for sniping the sniper using the pistol at one point in the level, but I remember reading that on the achievement list and I'm thinking, like, how can you do that? It's a memorable level that sets the tone for the rest of the campaign. I will always remember the badass quotes that Reznov would give the player, like, "Sniping your enemy is like hunting any other animal."
Sniping your enemy is like hunting any other animal. Fire at the wrong moment and your chance will be forever lost. Patience. If we reveal our position to Hamsel's men, this fountain will be our grave.
Playing as Dimitri was one of my favorite moments in the game. Everything all the game's characters go through is deeply traumatizing, but one of the most saddest characters was Private Chernov. He's a character in the Russian campaign who carried a journal. Reznov would catch him writing in his journal about the horrors he witnesses and remind him that nobody will ever read this if he doesn't come home alive. Unfortunately, he would meet an untimely fate, and if you stayed with Reznov in that moment, you would see him quietly retrieving the journal from him. It's a very small moment that can be easily missed by most players, but it adds to the overall tone of the game and also gives Reznov some deep character development, revealing that deep down he cared about Chernov and really hoped he made it through. Well, I'm really glad you made it this far in this video. I would love to see this game one day remastered or remade for modern players, although I don't feel like it could be possible given certain political details. It was enjoyed by many people who played it back in the day. When I told some people I was making this video, they gushed over how much they enjoyed this game back in the day. The game also had star power attached to it, with some characters being voiced by renowned actors like Gary Oldman and Kiefer Sutherland. I didn't play much of the multiplayer, but it has been considered one of the best in the CoD series. Also noted is the historical accuracy with the game, including archived authentic World War II footage and real situations real soldiers were dropped into. And of course the zombies mode, which is not historically accurate by the way. Zombies mode, which would be replayed obsessively by me and my close friends. I'm still pretty upset we didn't get that in the Wii version, but we did get Zapper support, but it was garbage. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I hope you stick around and watch more of my videos, and I appreciate all the feedback I've been getting, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.